Welcome to the Week 2 Lab 2 assignment for Applied Spreadsheets. For the second lab, we're going to be completing the Your Turn exercise to complete the Analyze Potential Profit assignment located on page EX 128. You'll need to launch your e-textbook for the course, and we're going to now navigate into EX chapters, and we're looking at Chapter 2. Again, an important reminder is you do need to go through all of the reading assignment for Chapter 2 to help you walk through this particular Your Turn exercise. I'm going to navigate directly to the assignment page where we're looking at Your Turn Part 2 to analyze potential profit. Here we have a scenario where you're working as a college intern student in the College Student Services Department. You're asked to create a worksheet that will help aid the clubs that are on campus so they can manage their budgets. Each club is allocated money at the beginning of the year, and they can hold fundraisers to raise more money for events. Each club is required to save 5% of their income for use at the start of the next year. Here we can see Table 2.9 that shows the clubs that we're working with, as well as the initial allocation and estimated fundraiser amounts. You'll need to calculate how much they need to save, as well as the average, lowest, and highest values for club budgets. Okay, I know that sounds like quite a bit for this scenario, and you might be thinking, where do I begin? I'm going to help get you started, but essentially we're working with the same exact concepts and functions as we did in the Lab 1 assignment, which is all part of the reading assignment and the reading pages in the Chapter 2 part of our e-textbook. Let me help you get started on Lab 2. You'll open up a new workbook in Microsoft Excel. In row 1, I'm going to start just as we have in our textbook, where we are looking at the yearly student club data. So I'll name my spreadsheet Student Club Data. And for my subtitle, I'll just call this Yearly Budget. As always, I need to select the cells and I need to merge those together. After I select and merge those cells together, I want to do a center alignment on them, and then I need to apply some formatting. I want to change the font, increase the font size, the same concept as what we did in Lab 1. So you'll need to modify this, and you'll add some shading, and then perhaps you'll also change text color, and you'll make some changes to this. So as we move along into the assignment, we think about, okay, we have these different headings that we see in this table. So I know that I have the club, and we see that I have an acting club, a golf club, a gaming club, etc. And then I know the next one is for the funds that are allocated or provided. And then I know that we can do fundraisers. And ultimately, what I'm really looking to do is see how much savings that we have for each one of those. So just like we did in the first lab, I need to adjust my row height, I need to adjust my column widths, and you'll want to adjust your sheet accordingly. I also want to apply a heading format to my titles here, and I'm going to apply the heading 3, and I'll center align that. Remember, we're mirroring what we did in the Lab 1 assignment to get this launched. I'll then need to transfer my data from Table 2.9 as we see here. So I will transfer in all of that data and for fundraisers, and continue on transferring the information from Table 9 over here into my assignment. And you'll continue to process through that. Now, because we have the full thing of video, I'm going to fast forward And that leaves me with transferring in all of that data. I've got my sheet formatted. I also need to have a totals, and I have that at the end after Music Club. And do not forget that you need to format that style to the total style. Here, when I zoom in, you'll see the total style formats those cells accordingly. Let me take that out for a moment, and if I don't have the formatting for totals, I just have basic cells there. So make sure you don't forget to apply the total formatting, and just as we did in Lab 1, we're going to do the average, the highest, and the lowest. As we did in Lab 1, I'm going to total up the rows here, rows 4 through 9 in column B. So from my formulas tab, I'm simply going to use a sum function and add those totals up. I'll do the same for fundraisers, and I will do a sum function here. And here you see I have my sum function to total up columns C4 through C9. Now we need to enter in the data for each club for the savings. And part of this assignment is we want to make sure that the clubs are saving 5%. The function will always begin with the equal sign. We can actually type in 5% and we're going to multiply that, or I can put in 5% in this format. Either way, but you want to make sure that you're consistent. So here I have 5% times, which is my asterisk, and I'm looking at I need to save 5% of the allocated funds, which is the amount in B4. So I will click to enter and accept that, and here I have my function and my savings the acting club will need for that year in order to save 5%. I'll do the next thing for the golf club, and again I need to put my function in starting with the equal sign, and I am looking to save 5%, and again you want to keep consistency, 0, 5, the asterisk, and I am looking at the allocation row, which is B5. Because we want consistency, I would continue doing it that way, but I do want to outline that I can begin with the equal sum for my function, and I can simply put 5% times my allocation for gaming club and enter. I still get the value, but you want to keep consistency in how you format in your data. Once I can complete all of my functions for column D, I will then want to do the sum function for my savings across the board. So I'm going to quickly finish my functions here. And of course, I'm going to do my total sum value here. When I look at the average, the highest, and the lowest, we did that in the Lab 1 assignment. So we'll be doing the same thing here. What we'll want to be doing is looking at columns 4 through 9. And as we find here, as a predefined function, we do have the average function. Here I put in the average, and I think my range is, yes, it's B4 through B9. Again, I need to do the same for highest. So I'm looking at columns 4 through 9, and in the sums, I want to go to maximum. And here I can see displayed my maximum function. I want to now find the minimum or the lowest. So I will select rows 4 through 9, and I need to select the minimum function. Once I have those entered in, remember I can copy those and paste those formats over. When I do that, I can see that I'm looking here, the function is C4 through C9. And the columns are updated for the average as well. So I have C4 through C9. So I'm adding up all of the fundraising activities across the board to find out the average. I can continue on and do the same with the savings as well. When completed, go ahead and change your sheet name and go ahead and apply a tab color. And you have some creative freedom with this, that you can apply a tab color that you would like with matches along with whatever formatting colors that you've used at the top of your spreadsheet. Make sure you save your file with your full name and you call it Week 2 Lab 2. Load that up to Dropbox, and I sure do look to seeing some well-completed Lab 2s.